Ice Science 10. So let's look at this practice question together. A container holds 27 grams of sulfur dioxide. Okay, must be like a gas canister. How many moles of sulfur dioxide is this? Your first place to start always is your periodic table. So make sure that is in front of you. Let's pull that over. And of course, a bit more information as well, hopefully is also on your periodic table. But let's pull over everything that you're going to want to have for this question. Of course, your periodic table. Well, zero in on sulfur and oxygen, right? And of course, it's sulfur dioxide, so it's a molecular compound. So it's critical, and hopefully by now you have this on your periodic table, right? If you're given a molecular compound, which is two nonmetals bonded together, you're going to need to be able to figure out from its name, its formula. Now, luckily, sulfur dioxide, it's pretty clear what we're looking at. The next thing, if we're solving for either moles, number of moles, if we're solving for mass or we're solving for molar mass, we need our formula triangle. And a reminder how this formula triangle works. If I'm looking for number of moles, I simply cover that up, okay? Mass over molar mass. If I'm looking for the mass, it's going to be number of moles times mass. So make sure you've got those two things in front of you. But yeah, let's start with the given information and then we'll look at required. So what does the question give us? I just want to zoom out a little bit here and then I'll zoom back in. And yeah, looking at the question, it says we've got 27 grams. And just take this step by step. Just take the information right off the question. 27 grams of, well, got to put the proper formula here. You need the formula if we're going to do molar mass. SO2 gas sulfur dioxide. So that's what's given. What's required? What is this question looking for? And just let me move that up a little bit. Now let me read the question. A container holds 27 grams of sulfur dioxide. How many moles? Oh, number of moles. Find, and literally write this down and also say it. Find number of moles. You don't want to try to solve a question like this all at once. You want to try to solve it step by step. And so number of moles, well, that's going to be N equals mass over molar mass. And that's already our analysis. We've done those two things together because in the analysis phase, we analyze the question and figure out, okay, so I know what I'm looking for, but what formula? So actually I've done both of those together. Now when I'm solving these, sometimes I jump right to what the question is asking me and say, okay, what are they asking? What formula am I going to need? And then I look at given. So you don't necessarily have to go in step by step, but I do these step by step, given, required, analysis. Well, now we can move to solving this, I believe. Just let me see, I think we need one more piece of information because I've got a mass here. Oh, but I need the molar mass. Now, the good thing about molar mass is it's on the periodic table, right? So we just look on the periodic table to get the molar mass. We know it's sulfur dioxide. So let's just grab those two. And of course, look at those two on the periodic table. And you've got one sulfur and two oxygens, okay? So just simply add those up, right? So if you got one sulfur, that's going to be 32.07 grams. If I've got two oxygens, well, 2 times 16, that's going to be 32.00 grams. Can add this one in our head, 64.07. 64.07 grams. Okay, per mole for sulfur dioxide for that formula. 64.07 grams per 1 mole. And we've got 27, so it's going to be a little less. So this is actually going to come out as a fraction. That's going to be interesting, a decimal, right? Obviously. So when we solve, we just simply plug in the numbers, right? and we're going to plug them in right into this formula. We have N, 27 grams. Sorry, we don't have N. We're looking for N. We have M, or mass. We've got mass, 27 grams, divided by molar mass. So 27 grams. And again, we're solving for number of moles equals the mass, little m, over big M molar mass, 64.07 grams per mole. And the grams are going to cancel out when we divide these. We're going to be left with moles. In other words, we're going to be left with our answer. Now let's use a calculator, so make sure you've got the calculator handy. I'll just pull this one up right on the screen actually here for us. So we'll hit clear. Always hit clear a few times, turn it off and on. 27 divided by 64.07. Okay, now it gives us a lot. Now, from the original question, the significant digits, the most digits we have, or the least digits we have are 2. So we only need to go to 2 digits here. So 0.42, and we either round up to 0.43 or we round down to 0.42. I think you can see that we round down, right? So it's just going to be 0.42 moles. Well, not even quite half a mole, but you know, it's getting there, I guess. 0.42 moles. Put the units. Next and last step is to paraphrase, write it in a sentence. So you take your original question, which is how many moles of sulfur dioxide do we have? And so in 27 grams, because that's what was given, in 27 grams of SO2, sulfur dioxide, there is 0.42 moles. You can also use this, make sure to spell it right, sorry. You can also use this as your last check, like, have I answered the question? Does my answer make sense? You know, if the molar mass is 64 grams and we only had 27, yeah, this is kind of making sense. Like, that's not quite half, because half of 64 would be 32. So yeah, that definitely makes sense, 0.42 moles. Yeah, it's your last check. Okay, that's how to solve one like this. Talk to you later, Science 10.